All right, can we just confirm that everybody on Zoom can hear us okay?
Yep.
I can hear you.
Thanks, Loretta. Thanks, Loretta. All right, yeah.
Call to order, 7:01 p.m. for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll do a roll call. Supervisor Bogey?
Here.
Clerk Stephanie here. Treasurer Joel is excused. Trustee Shelby? Here. And Trustee Nick?
Here. Approval of the agenda.
So there are a couple changes. So on new business number 5, we need to add the DTE test well site application. That was an oversight on my part. I actually already added it to our
On 4. Right?
yeah, because I'm deleting streetlights, so it'll be number 4.
Streetlights is off.
Streetlight, yeah. So we're adding new business number 4, DTE test well site application. We're removing streetlights, which is already done. Why do you have that one?
Why is this a corrected one?
Oh, maybe not.
You got the,
I don't know.
You got the test well straight. but
Yeah,
you didn't
yeah,
take
so,
all 3 off.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're removing number 3 streetlights.
Or we can,
No, we'll just,
all right.
yeah, how does that work? We'll remove number 3 and add new business DTE to number 3.
You want to do it like 3.1?
Nah, we'll just do 3. We'll just get rid of streetlights. We're gonna move the streetlight resolution to November when Joel's back. Okay.
Reference. All right. I make a motion to accept the approval of the agenda. All in favor?
Hi.
Hi,
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment for 2 minutes on agenda items only.
Anybody on Zoom?
Moving right along.
Okay.
Approval of previous minutes.
So, and Aretta, I might tag you in a little bit here. So we had a special meeting on the 26th of September. Should we have approved our 9/11 minutes at that point, or since it was a special meeting?
I think you always approve at the very next meeting.
That's what I thought. So those are technically already approved, but I just wanted to.
I always thought in a special meeting, you can only discuss what's in the special meeting period.
No,
I thought.
yeah, I lean on Aretta on that one. So technically the 9/11 minutes are already approved in terms of we can't make any changes to them. But I don't think there was too many changes, if any, that anybody
I
saw.
read through it, everything was good.
So did we want to make a motion just to,
Approve it. I think we should.
okay. And then there'll be another motion for 9/26 special meeting minutes.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from 9/11 minutes. All in favor?
hi.
Right.
Opposed? On to the next.
We've got to do the 9/26 ones too.
All right. That's basically the special meeting we had on 9/26.
Mhm.
I didn't see any change because it was pretty brief.
That
Yeah,
was Friday, right?
yeah, yeah. Any issues?
No.
Okay.
We good?
Good.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from September 26th, the special meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we'll go into disbursements. Payroll this month was 11,590.49. You'll see a little bit, Karen had just a tad bit more on hers for reimbursement for, she splits one of her programs or classes, it's one of those things with the 3 municipalities that she works for. So we had a third of that. And then Roberts is a little higher because he went to a class, so we reimbursed him for that. Everybody else is pretty standard. We had a couple inspections, but, and then Rhonda Hassler, she is our new deputy treasurer, so she's on the list now. And then vendors was a total of 577,222 before anybody freaks out. Mine was only about 29,000 of that. The rest was taxes. So on ours, so we cut the check for bone cutters for the work done on Crow Road. DTE is normal. Our last installment for the lawn maintenance is on here. A refund of the site application funds for the Dundee storage project. And then our 941s, normal type stuff.
And that was the road commission too. I think, too.
Yes, road commission was 87.7.
From work done this spring.
Correct, yeah. I think we're all caught up on road commission. So it's a total of September disbursements, 588,813.33.
Questions, Nick?
Well, mine says 577, but. that's fine.
No, the total with
That's just the
payroll.
vendors.
That's just the
Plus the
vendors.
payroll.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, plus payroll is 588,813.
Gotcha.
So vendors was just 577,222.
Do you have any questions?
That's good.
That's nice.
So far. I'll make a motion to accept the disbursements for 588,813.33.
I'll second
Do a roll call. Supervisor Bogey,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes. Treasurer Joel is excused. Trustee Shelby, Trustee Nick.
it. Yes.
I'll go through Joel's fund balances. So the general fund has 168,031. Tax account is at 219,203. Fire fund total is 70,409. Road fund total is 10,309. That ICS account is at 276,488. Our savings is at 72,840. CDs are at 422,621, and we still have COVID about 33,000. So fund balance is totaling about 1,239,903. 1,026,999 without the tax account.
Questions?
No questions.
And then we talked to Joel about that, change that old
Mhm.
national farm and get that out of there, because 0.04 is bad.
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept the fund balance at 1,239,903.35, and without the tax, 1,020,699.69.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Building report.
We have 2 building permits, 4 electrical, 4 mechanical. There was no plumbing, and then there was 3 building inspections completed. And Robert worked a total of 19 hours.
He has been busy this month.
You've been very busy.
I make a motion to accept the building report.
Any questions on Nick, or good?
I'm good.
Can you second it?
I motioned it.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, it was just
Karen on?
misfiled.
Yep, I'm here.
All right, let her rip.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm finishing up visits on Day Road and Dennison Road. Next month, I'll be gathering unfinished 24 building permits and gathering the new 25 permits to visit by the end of the year. I picked up the drain assessments from the Monroe County Drain Commission for the winter tax roll and the clerk statement. I finalized the 2025 clerk statement and had it signed by the clerk and submitted to the Monroe County Clerk and Equalization. I uploaded the database for the state's auditing firm, to the state's auditing firm for the principal residence exemption annual audit. I'm working on the residential class values, currently land values and ECFs. I attended 6 hours of continuing education. And looking ahead, I'm going to analyze the county appraisal studies for industrial, commercial, and agricultural classes. I'll balance with the treasurer for the winter tax roll on or about November 4th, and then conduct personal property canvas in December of 2025.
I make a motion to accept the assessor's report. Oh,
You got any questions, Nick?
No, sir.
No?
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
Karen.
I make a motion to accept the assessor's report.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On to the next one, motion carries. Ordinance report.
Ordinance report, Mr. Dooley followed up with 18190 Sherman Road, had to get mowed, it was mowed. And it looks like they're cleaning up according to his notes. And then 17922 Welch Road, scattered debris. He is working on getting that taken care of. He's been told to clear the porch and the debris in the yard. And there's this one here hit me. Somebody said somebody's moving into Milan with 2 spider monkeys. I don't know what that is, but that's it's in here.
They're spider monkeys.
He told them they had to get a permit if there's permit required. So they're not here. They haven't moved in town the way it looks, but if they move, they gotta have whatever necessary permits they gotta have.
I will give the person props for calling and asking, because who would know if you had spider monkeys in your house?
I've never really seen one. Okay, and then he worked with the sheriff regarding Woody passing over violation, court order, trucks on the property. And that is it.
And he did ask the person if they do move into Milan Township to bring monkeys in for show and tell.
I make a
So we-
motion to accept the ordinance.
We might have some friends one day. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I thought you was gonna-
No. I had to, yeah, I had the same response when he said it in the office.
All right, Milan Fire Department report. They had 20 incidents, but 6 of them were no runs. 6 of them were no incident found. Dispatch is canceled en route was 2 of them. So we technically had 14 runs, which we are normally.
That one?
Yeah, and that, thanks.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to dig through your files anymore. So 20 runs, we're up to trending differently, but again, we had 6 canceled runs, so we're right now, right around with things. We're not trending anywhere with that. Any questions?
Nope.
Do we know if they're starting to bill?
They're supposed to start, yes.
Okay.
Well, there's,
They're having a company do it, aren't they?
yeah,
Yeah, they're having a third party do it to make sure it's all done.
but I don't think that gets agreed upon until this end of this month.
If that it gets agreed upon. Or that
Well,
we
until they get
start
the
it.
final, all the little notes and everything go, who you can bill, who you can't bill.
Yeah,
Oh, got
yeah,
it.
because with us having the city and then multiple townships, it's kind of gotta be like a
like a
general consensus.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we can't say we don't want to bill X, Y, or Z, and York can't have different.
Right, because
Yeah,
our
okay.
residents already
And
paid,
everybody's on the same page of not billing the
Sure.
residents.
Yeah, absolutely.
unless
That's
it's a
nice.
house fire or car accident, your insurance covers that. So
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
different
yeah.
thing. So, yeah, it's pretty basic.
Okay. I make a motion to accept the fire department report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Sheriff Department report. 33 incidents last month. It was down from 64 last month. 33 is right around is a decent number. We know we shouldn't have any. Pretty much had some traffic stops, basically all traffic's most of this.
Mhm.
They did have one hold up and a couple, be on the lookouts, but other than that, not much. Pretty light month.
They didn't figure out who was doing donuts in our driveway?
No, we gotta work on that. We'll review the camera, so we gotta go through that. That's always fun.
Yeah.
The sheriff was gonna try to be here tonight, but he ended up getting called out. So he'll be here next month, I think he said. Any questions?
I make a motion to accept the sheriff's department
I'll
report.
second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, first order of business, we don't have any old business, so straight into new business. So deficit elimination plan. So I got a lovely email from Michigan Treasury that I forwarded on to our auditor about almost 2 months ago now, saying that we have a deficit in our budget. And we need to create this deficit elimination plan. So I sent it over to the auditor because obviously she handles all our budget stuff at the end of the year and sends this report to the state, right, on our behalf. So apparently there's this new question where, you know, we have deficits, but it's always just covered by the general fund. So it's not like we don't have the money to cover it. So that it was in deficit by like $8,958. So send it to her. And then I get a call from Michigan Treasury or an email about a month and a half later saying, hey, your state funding is going to get paused if they catch this. I did a manual audit. I sent you an email about a month and a half ago because she told me, don't worry about it. So I get her on the phone, come to find out she clicked yes when she was supposed to click no on this question when she sent our state in, or vice versa, no instead of yes. So now we have to do this deficit elimination plan. All it really is we have to show how we're going to cover this deficit. So pretty much it's just being covered by the general fund. So the notes in here, it says the road millage fund had a deficit at the year end, March 31st, 2025 of 5,778. Tax revenues are anticipated to be 161,400, which makes up the majority of the funding. Total expenditures are anticipated to be about 256,865, which is lower than originally budgeted. The projected increase in fund balance is 50,757, which eliminates this deficit. In the future, if the road millage is not enough to cover the necessary road improvements and maintenance for the year, the excess expenditures will be budgeted and paid out of the general fund. The township board will review the budgets on a quarterly basis to ensure a deficit will not occur in the road millage fund. We anticipate that the deficit will be eliminated during the 25-26 fiscal year. Expenses have been decreasing due to the completion of major road projects in prior years. The 25-26 budget only reflects regular yearly maintenance that is required to preserve the existing road network. The other issue with our budget a lot of the times is that we get billed for road like in the next fiscal year. So we have not come up with a really good way to like make footnotes. So with Rhonda being the deputy treasurer now, she actually worked with the auditor to come up with this deficit plan. So she's going to help us this next budget year so we can eliminate all of that stuff. So pretty much we just have to approve the amended budget from 154 was the original budget. We have to approve 161,000. And then that will eliminate the deficit. So we have to approve that proposed amendment and then accept the deficit elimination plan. And then I can send it off to the state. It will not affect our state revenue, anything like that.
Well, because they clicked one wrong box.
Just because they they said yes instead of no, or no instead of yes.
Should have made them come up with this plan.
Well, I sent it to her and I said, you have to figure this out because I have no idea what I'm doing because you're the one that does the audit and this was your mess. So you can do it. And she did. She brought it up and thankfully we have Rhonda, and Rhonda kind of took it upon herself to help me out with that. So I owe her all the kudos. So pretty much just somebody needs a motion to accept the proposed amendment to the budget, which is amending it from 154 to 161. That gives us a little cushion. And then somebody needs a motion to accept the deficit, accept or deny, I guess.
You have any questions?
Nope.
Nick?
No,
And if you have other questions, I'm happy to get Sarah on the phone at a different meeting to kind of explain it in further detail. This is just kind of how I understood it.
I make a motion to accept the deficit elimination plan.
Well, can you do the proposed amendment first of
do we?
154 to 161? So this one right here,
Oh,
front page, right here, original budget to amend budget.
oh, yeah. So I make a motion to amend the original budget from 154,000 to the amended budget of 161,000.
Yes,
And then state grants 400, right?
yes.
Yeah, that, and it's a 161,400.
I will second that.
And we'll do a roll call real quick. Hold on. I have to remember to write Allstetter instead of Talk. Supervisor Bogey,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes. Treasurer Joel is excused. Trustee Shelby
Yes.
and Trustee Nick.
Yes.
All right, now I make a motion to accept the deficit elimination plan.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll second it.
Supervisor Bogey,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes. Treasurer Joel is excused. Trustee Shelby and Trustee Nick.
Yes.
All right, 2026 roads. So as you can see on the screen here, anything that's like teal blue is the roads that we've done in the last 3 years have been totally berm's been cut, all re-gravelled and done. The ones that you can hardly see up in purple, they're real small in about the middle of the page. Put an arrow by it. Yeah, that one and those two, that was done with 500 tons of free gravel from the cement plant, which is now a gravel company, aggregate company. The one that's next to it, the proposed ones now are in pink. So this year, we're gonna try to do 500 tons of free gravel right there, which you got the cursor, which is Sherman Road on the dead end. And then down here, we're gonna try to do Cone Road from Wells to the railroad tracks. And then Dundee Azalea Road, which is gravel. And then the other end, what is that up
The
there?
top left.
Oh, top left.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all.
Westfall.
Yeah, Westfall Road, we're gonna redo that one. I still got plans for another road to do after that. I want to get estimates back from Monroe County, see what they're gonna cost. I did have I can bring up another meeting. Well, we'll probably better just do it. I had a meeting with the Monroe County Road Commission on September 15th for our yearly reporting meeting. And this is the things we kind of go over. I actually approached him because some of these roads haven't been touched in 40 years. I did have a chat with him that, we're going on 3 years, next year be 4. By the time the 5th year rolls around, I'd like to go back and re-gravel the roads, but do a maintenance gravel. It would be a quarter of the cost of the original replacement of the road. It's cheap. And if we keep maintaining them, keep digging ditches, the roads last a really long time, and that's what our goal is kind of here to do. I also discussed about when Corrigan starts on a project down here, that they gotta move the driveway to get into that place for MDOT. So they're gonna have to make that a Class A road from their driveway to 23. I suggested we take the railroad tracks to where Corrigan is, try to do a joint venture with them and asphalt the road. Otherwise, you can be coming off asphalt onto a short piece of gravel, back on asphalt. And everybody's gonna experience with that. You end up with big giant potholes on both ends, kind of like our neighbor over here does on Milwaukee and County Line. So they're gonna get us some estimates on that. So that's kind of where we're with the 2026 road program. Again, there may be more to do, but for right now, I want to get estimates back and see where we're at. Because we spent a lot of money on roads in the last 3 years.
We gotta look at doing that county line and Milwaukee corner too.
Well,
That's
bad.
disaster.
Oh, it is Milwaukee and County Line. It's not
Yeah.
Cone.
Yeah.
It's not Cone and
Yeah.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about
I mean,
that today.
And they'll grade it and it's nice for about a month.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take long.
And I think
And
it's
those
just
are
the road
huge
jogs,
The jogs
Mhm.
there.
and then
yeah.
people stop and they take off, so you shoot across
It's
and shoot
terrible.
back. It's something I need to discuss with the county, try to figure out what's going on. We got another little project we're thinking about. It's experimental. We might take one of the roads and actually blacktop it. So if the road's stabilized enough, I think I talked to our engineer about it.
You did.
I talked to Dave Leach today about it, and he's gonna go out and take a road, look at the road that one I'm kind of proposing to kind of experiment on. And get us a cost on that and see if it's worthwhile to do, see if it's stabilized enough. But Monroe County did like the point that we are doing our roads and we are keeping up on it. They're actually pretty impressed with it. So, other than that, everything else I'll do in comments, because I got a whole bunch of
Okay.
stuff. to do
So
on that.
what, so you're wanting us to approve the roads that
The
you're,
ones I want to do, yeah.
okay, can you-
Westfall,
okay, so Westfall,
Cone Road from the railroad tracks to Wells.
Cone from tracks to Wells, okay?
And then Dundee Azalea Road from Ostrander to Cone. And then we're gonna do the so-called freebie on
Mhm.
Sherman from Petersburg to the railroad tracks. That means next year we can start doing roads again, hopefully.
So those are next year's program.
Next year's,
Yeah.
for now,
For the gravel.
yes.
For fiscal year, starting in March or in April,
Yes.
okay,
26.
26,
They just,
27.
they want to
okay.
get, they want me to kind of point out what they want to do to help them move their budget along a little faster.
So if we approve this, then you'll get quotes and then bring it back,
Correct.
okay?
And then I'll know where we stand if we can do more roads next year, maybe finish up some, because I know your road's starting to get a beating.
It's pretty much just from the railroad tracks to Sherman,
Right.
and the bridge right there. I know the semis are still taking that little shortcut, so
We gotta talk about truck signs. I gotta get the cops back out there now.
I must have scared them coming by my house, so.
Good job.
So anyway, that's all I got on 2026 road report. That's what we're working on, attempting to.
Okay,
Questions?
Nope.
any
Nick?
questions, Nick?
No, I'm good.
I make a motion to approve the discussed roads, and I'll mark them all out when I do it. So Westfall Cone from tracks to Wells, Dundee Azalea from Ostrander to Conan, the freebie Petersburg to Railroad.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Gateway fund is done. Onto the DT test well site application.
Okay, so you got two packets. So the first packet that has my first email on it, that is the original stuff that was given, that the PC reviewed. The emails that you see there are the conditions that they had discussed, that they wanted to see either completed or needed some more information on. The second email is some questions from the residents, and we do have some answers for those, and I'll go over those in the second packet. So the planning commission, and Nick, chime in when if you want, because you were actually
Yeah.
on the planning commission. So they reviewed everything and ultimately recommended to deny the site plan, just because there were so many things that were missing in the site plan that we needed to see. And they really didn't want to set a precedent that you're able to, start a project and then come back and pretty much ask for forgiveness later. So they are recommending to deny it. But we did get quite a bit of information from DTE and Battelle in the last 2 days. And, keep in mind that this has been a very short turnaround because it is a short project. So we want to make sure that they're in compliance with our zoning ordinance before their project is done. Any questions about any of that? Nick, did I miss anything?
No, you're good there.
Okay, so in the second packet, I'll go over these in more detail. It starts with the questions that were answered, so I'll go through those here in a minute. But in this packet, you'll see that one of the conditions that we asked for was the driveway permit from Monroe County. They did receive that, and they did include that. There was a supplement to site plan application letter. So pretty much states that, to address the questions and concerns from the PC meetings, DT is submitting the following supplemental information. So the application consultant fee, so a check was received. I did receive that yesterday for $10,000 to cover all the expenses that are accruing from this site plan. Lawyers, engineers, all of that jazz. The updated site plan application. So there were quite a few things on the original site plan that the PC just wasn't too thrilled with, that it either wasn't on there, or wasn't detailed enough. So site plan drawings will be on a 24 by 36 paper. Did you receive those, Dave?
I have not.
Okay, because I only received just the email. So were those gonna be,
We can follow up with the actual documents.
Okay.
One thing we had to go do is, it's formatted for 24 by 36, right? Correct.
oh, so if we printed it and it was, okay,
In the interest of time, didn't have time to get it.
sure, sure. Do you have the ability to print that
do.
large?
We
Okay,
do.
would you like me to just send them to you?
That'd be great.
Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right, yep. So, and then on the site plan, the natural tree line and corn buffer zone are depicted through aerial imagery. You guys know site plans way more than I do, so I'm assuming that is the second page in the. And then the sound barrier wall locations are shown on northwest and east sides of the site. And then the visual depictions of on-site lighting with anticipated lumens. I will say that I'm not sure, I know you guys were working on the sound barrier wall starting today. I think you guys had said all this stuff was coming, or yesterday. Yeah, because our meeting was, PC meeting was Tuesday. Have you guys started on the lighting? Because I did have a resident come in and say that they were coming north on Ann Arbor Road, and I know you guys don't have the sound barrier on that south end, but they were kind of blinded by all the lights. So I told them I would let you guys know, because they shouldn't be leaving the area per our ordinance. Am I correct in saying that, Dave?
That's correct.
Okay. Oh, here's the buffer zones, the aerial imagery. And then additional documents. So along with the stuff that I just went over, they did include the performance bond with Eagle. So they do have an assurity bond of 33,000 with Eagle that they included here. And then we also asked for the H2S contingency plan approved by Eagle. One of the main things that the PC was questioning was the flare stacks. So Marlon was kind of explaining that that was just part of their safety measures. He didn't anticipate that they were going to be used, but we all know that sulfur is a large thing, especially down Ann Arbor Road. So we anticipate that they probably will have to use them at some point. So we had asked for or the PC asked for the emergency procedures for that. And then the driveway permit too. We also asked, one of the questions that residents had were the list of chemicals used on site. So the following chemicals will be available on site and will be stored and handled in compliance with applicable guidelines. So lime for alkalinity, bentonite for viscosity, soda ash to lower hardness, LG 100 for clay inhibition, sap for cement contamination, sodium bicarbonate for cement contamination, the X gum, I'm not even gonna try to say it, for viscosity and rheology, Papa polymer for shale encapsulation, defoamer, and lignite for clay inhibition and thinner. So those are the chemicals that are currently on site. Okay. And then another obviously big thing that most residents and the board and PC are very concerned with is the water testing. So we did ask that, or the PC asked for water testing to be done. It would have been preferred to be done before the drilling started, but they did say that prior to drilling the mineral test well, a nearby water well will be sampled to establish baseline water quality conditions. This baseline data will serve as a reference for ongoing monitoring during drilling. Water from the same well will be checked daily to observe natural variances that occur from normal environmental and operational factors. While minor fluctuations in water characteristics are expected, results will be reviewed to ensure there are no noticeable or sustained changes that could indicate an impact from drilling activities. Any unexpected deviation from normal trends will be evaluated promptly to determine if additional investigation is warranted. So that was like the main documents and main questions that I know the PC had requested. Any questions about any of that?
I got it.
Go for it.
So you guys said that you contacted Milan Fire Department, talked to the chief, and you're gonna have to do a walkthrough on this. He's been contacted once that you guys are thinking about coming out here, never contacted again. I contacted Dundee Fire Department chief. He said, yeah, they called, so they might be coming, and that's all they ever got. And on top of that, the neighbors around here have been contacted like for a brief minute. If we wouldn't have got a lawyer involved, where would we be? I mean, that's not being a good neighbor, period. So I'm not real happy with that, I can tell you right now. So I assume you're gonna send out letters of apology to all the neighbors around the neighborhood. Because I don't tolerate lying, I just don't. You know, the whole thing, this whole thing started in, it all started with an email back in January. But this all started in January. You guys wanted to have a meeting with us. The mayor of Milan called, said, yeah, you gotta have a meeting with DTE over, they want to do some energy concerns. And I called Steph, I said, you need to show up here, so I'll make sure I'm not missing anything. There was nothing about a CO2 well in the invitation to this meeting. And then once we get there, it turns into a CO2 thing, which obviously we told you what our feelings were. Not well. And then we explained to Molly that we need everything sent by email to us. And I think July was the last email we even got.
July 2nd was the last email that I had received in regards to water testing and who would be responsible if water tables had decreased or diminished.
I mean, it's been one thing after another. And like I said, if we wouldn't have paid this lawyer to come and get involved, where would we be at? I mean, honestly, I was ready to take my retirement check and give it to the lawyer and go after you guys, because it upset me that much. You pick on the littlest township, you figure we're all podunk nobodies. And I think you're finding out differently. It doesn't work that way. We fight back hard. Yes, everybody's ever coming.
Yes.
So that's my feeling belief. I don't know where you guys are sitting on that subject, but I'm just pretty unhappy about the whole thing. You have anything to add to that?
It's just one thing after another.
Nick?
Well, I was disappointed that they already had 90 foot in the ground, and we didn't even know it. That kind of, that not just disappointed me. I went on a tour of the East China natural gas facility in Mali just days before, and never said anything to me about anything going on over there. And she came in, she knew that I had questions about what was going to happen with this well, because when she came to the first meeting, I addressed her, and she never said anything about people moving in, drilling going on, and which I thought was poor. All she had to do was say, hey, you know what? We know we don't got to get a permit from you guys, but we're moving in, just give you a heads up. That'd have been nice, you know, didn't even get a heads up. But on some of these things, I got some questions on. The first thing is the $33,000 surety bond. What is that?
What is that going to cover?
You're going 4,500 foot in the ground and it's $3,300 bond. I mean, is that going to cover if we have an issue over there? What is 33,000 going to cover?
And that was,
moving your trailers out?
that was a requirement of Eagle, so.
Yeah, but Eagle ain't me, that's crazy. I mean, that's why we wanted to see what Eagle, what the bond was, because you said we have a bond, we have a bond. What is it? Well, it's 33,000. 33,000 to me isn't gonna cover much.
Because can I ask just a naive question? What would a surety bond cover? I mean,
We don't know, we don't have.
when solar was coming through, I know that was
It was an
hundreds,
expensive-
thousands of dollars,
Yes.
$1 million to, if things went bad and we had to clean it
Yeah.
up, that's what I thought that would cover.
This is, this is why I said, we're not gonna approve this Tuesday. Because this stuff, as you know, came in very quickly. We got it, we gotta have an emergency meeting, we got some information. Friday, we had a meeting. Tuesday, we had to vote on stuff. The people here didn't receive most of the stuff. And then you give us some supplementary stuff that late afternoon. So we didn't have the information in a time to look at this, to decide what we're gonna do. And in my opinion, whatever it's worth, 4,500 foot well needs more consideration from me and this board than here, we gotta vote on this, jam through and we gotta make this right. How many are there in the country? 3?
Test wells.
Yeah, well, no, 4,500 foot wells.
I mean, it's a test well. Do you know the answer to that?
I mean, it's not very common.
It's a heck of a lot more than 3. We don't know the answer.
I haven't heard of any around here. So, but, okay, so just to get, so you get where I'm coming from, we didn't have the information to make a good decision to say anything about the site plan because we didn't know what exactly was going on. And we didn't know what some of the things are, like your bond. I still, to me, that's crazy. But I'm not gonna vote on something unless I have the knowledge to vote on it. I don't go in there and just push a button, yes or no on something just because it's voting day. I like to know what I'm voting on. And, okay, we got more information again today. You answered some questions. We know what the bond is. You give us some more information on the lighting. My biggest concern was, number one, protecting the wells of the people in the township, and you're already 90 foot down. The good wells are between 100 and 80 foot. Your good well don't come at 200 foot. That's where you hit sulfur. So you're already down to 90 foot. Most of the good wells are between 90 and 100 foot. So our concern was you're gonna hit an aquifer and we're gonna have a problem. That was my concern. And we tried to tell this to Milan and whoever was here in that other meeting.
I mean, we did try to, we did.
We
multiple times.
tried to get it through her head, but this is our issue. We all grew up here in London Township, our next door neighbor, where I grew up. Most of their wells went dry because of a foobar on a excavation for gravel pit. And, everybody got poo-pooed there. That is not happening because of this gravel pit. And DEQ sat there and said, that is not happening because of this gravel pit. Everybody said that. But everybody in London Township was losing their wells. We don't have water there, just like here. So that's my biggest concern. And we're already 90 feet deep. And
maybe more.
And I don't know how, okay, I sit here and say, okay, site plan, you got you know, you put down some geofabric, you got some stone in there, you're putting up some barriers for sound, and you're gonna move your lights or something the best you can to help the neighbors. And say, yeah, everything's fine and dandy, but it isn't. Because if wells start going dry in here because this 2-foot hole in the ground is draining aquifer, or if I got people over there that have good wells, and now all of a sudden they got sulfur because you hit a sulfur vein and then you hit a good well aquifer. You know, I don't know if it's crazy or if it's reality. To me, it's reality, because if you're punching a hole in the ground and you punch through aquifer A and then you go to B, what's gonna happen? Water from A is gonna go to water B. So I wanted to know how you were gonna stop that from happening. That is what I wanted to know. Well, it's too late. You're 90 foot deep. So, you know, I don't know. I can't vote on this because I think it's a crock, you know. You don't understand what these people went through in the township. They'll haul water. Well, the health department said you can't haul water. Can't do it. So they couldn't sell their houses because they couldn't have water hauled in because the township or the health department said they couldn't do it. Well, now we'll let you do it. But that's the number one problem.
And that was one of the main questions in the last conversation I had with Molly was, if wells do go dry and you guys are the only thing that is different, who's responsible? And how can we guarantee that the responsible party is held accountable? And all she said was around about, well, we would figure out the response and hold them responsible. I want to guarantee that I already haul water. So this doesn't affect me, right? That I haul every 3 weeks. I take a trailer with my truck and go down the road and I haul my own water.
Every other person on this board has a well.
Correct. So I'm fighting for the people that I know don't want to do what I do, because it sucks in the winter. It's not cost effective when I have to call because my husband's out of town and the pipes are froze. It's not something I would wish upon my worst enemy. I don't know why I bought 2 houses that I have to haul water, but that's here nor there. But that's what we're so concerned about. And we cannot get any type of answer. You came in here saying we wanted to be good neighbors. And then you come into a place, you guys are $1 billion company. And you don't think you have to get a site plan? You don't have to get a permit from us, but you have to communicate to say, what are your zoning ordinances? You put a 2-acre parking lot in. I have plenty of residents here that they're just your podunk Milan Township people, and they know that they have to come in and get a building permit. They have to come in and talk to our zoning ordinance officer to make sure that they're building their pole barn not too close to a property line. They know all this without me having to verbally explain it. To me, I guess I didn't have to point blank say to $1 billion company that does this all the time that you have to get a site plan. And now we're in a predicament, like Nick says, we're 90 feet deep. I'm glad I haven't had any neighbors knocking on our door, and trust me, they would, that they've got sulfur now and they had perfect water, or it's running dry. I'm thankful that hasn't happened, but what's going to happen in another 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet? Because we're not even at 100 foot yet. And I can't get a guarantee, and I can't, this all looks fine and dandy. And maybe we would have had a different thought process if it would have been brought to us before. So all of these questions could have been answered before, but it's really hard to say, yeah, everything looks great. Go ahead, drain our water wells if that happens, because I've gotten no guarantee. And I know it's difficult to give a guarantee, but that's the reality in these different environments. When you guys come out to places that don't have water, you're messing with people's livelihoods and their way of life, and it's not fair. And like I said, it may have been different if, you know, Molly and the group would have come and actually followed the appropriate protocols. Having a town hall at the school was great, but you saw how frustrated people were there, and you still continue just to do everything with just an eco permit, and it's frustrating. I mean,
What doesn't sit right with me is the unprofessionalness of this. You're a multi-million, possibly billion-dollar company, and everybody in this township has more professionalism than you do. That is absolutely absurd. How many times have you guys done projects? Like Stephanie said, that you have had to go to the townships, the cities, the counties, whatever it is, put in a site plan, pull permits, do all of these procedures and everything in the way that you're supposed to be doing it. And you come here and it's like, screw them. That's what it feels like.
Not only that, they lied. They said that they were going to test the soil first before they drilled.
Okay.
There's no testing.
thank you.
But the well issue is, you know, yeah, we could have got a bond or something, maybe to, you know, to cover it, but 33,000 ain't gonna cover it, you know. That bond is just a joke.
Well, like, the equipment alone for this, we know costs more than 33,000. My husband works in heavy equipment, Nick has worked with heavy equipment his whole life. We know how much a small excavator costs. It's more than 33,000. We know all the trucks and everything sitting in those parking lots, probably 100 grand each. So the trailer that had to be ran for the site, the parking lot, that money's gone.
If you'd have come in and said, okay, you know, there's a well, we understand there's a well issue, it's very sensitive here. But we'll put up a bond for, you know, $1 million, 10 million, whatever the numbers, I don't know. But, you know, not 33,000. You know, we could have sat down and said, okay, at least there's something here to take care of if there is an issue. And I know you guys sitting there saying, oh, it's not gonna be an issue, you know, these are done all the time. But we didn't get that warm and comfy because we didn't have anybody come in here and show us what the hell they were gonna do. You know, they had a rodeo up there at the school where they had a couple tables set up, and you went around and, you know, talked to the people, you know, well, this guy was with DQ and this guy's with, you know, well drilling, and this guy's with another place. But, you know, it was not informational to say, this is exactly how we're gonna save water from going from A to B. And now we're plugging it in 9 places. When I look at plugging something, I figured it would be the whole thing. So now it's, you know, it's plugged here, and then you got another plug up here and another plug up here. I don't know if them are gonna hold, and quite frankly, the person who put together that engineering plan for those might not even know if they're gonna hold. Because that's 4,500 foot in the ground. So we got no warm cozy about what was gonna happen, how it was gonna happen, how I would sit here and tell the people that lost a well, you know, that, oh, it wasn't these people, because they showed us what they were doing, and it made a lot of sense. We didn't get that. We got nothing. And, you know, I can't sit here, if these people come and say, hey, I lost my well tomorrow, it's gonna be ugly. I mean, because they've already lived through it. Because more than likely, everybody in here, one of their family members lived in London Township, because it's a small community here. So they either know somebody or relative that had the issue there. And we don't want it here. Say, oh, maybe, okay, we'll do this, but, you know, if this happens, we'll put in a water main over here. We'll do something. But right now we have nothing. And we're 90 foot in the ground, and we have no assurance. We got a $33,000 bond here that's gonna cover what, I don't know. Cause I don't have the bond, but, it's, right now, I don't know. I don't know if I even wanna vote on this. I know I don't wanna vote on it, cause I'm not gonna vote the right way, your way, cause I don't agree with this, but, I'm more in the mindset to go to the state and say, what the hell's going on here? I mean, I'll go to the state. I'm a guy just like them up there. I'll go up and talk to Gretchen Whitmer. I don't care. I'll bring her down here. I'll bring her down here and show her what's going on. That's what I want to do. Because I don't want to have well problems here.
Was this ordinance from Monroe County ever addressed that was passed in 2016 that is titled Ordinance Banning the Storage of Disposal or Use of Oil and Natural Gas Waste in the County of Monroe? That was in 2016. Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah, again, this, we are not storing any disposable waste, and this is not an injection well, it's just a test well.
These guys are playing stupid.
But
And I'd like to address a couple other items when the time's right.
what this is leading to and how this has been handled does not make me believe you. I don't believe a single word coming out of anybody's mouth until we have our insurance on paper because of how everything was handled.
And that's why we talked to your attorneys when they approached us. By the way, so some of you probably haven't met me. So Dan Ettinger, I'm a counsel for DTE. I have my partner, Ashley Crystal, with me as well tonight. And so when we talked with Laura, I know Mallory here tonight.
Yeah, I'm over here.
Oh, hey, Mom. Yeah, so, when we talk with Laura and Mike, I can't, I hear everything you guys are saying, okay? And I can't change the past, obviously. And I'm trying to work through your process, and that was what we agreed with Laura and Mike to do. And part of what they requested of us, and I know it's a quick time frame, I understand, and was to work in that time frame. That was a request from, I wouldn't say it's from the township, I just threw the township attorney, so I assume the township. Was to get that information as quickly as possible for that meeting. We did that, and then we tried to address questions that we got from Dave, because I remember saying that. We got from Dave on Tuesday. We tried to address those at that meeting to the extent that we needed to follow up. We tried to do that. We could have gotten it to you earlier today. We would have, we did the best we could. There's a lot of information on our site, so we want to make sure that it's accurate.
And I think the reason it was such a quick turnaround is because your guys' project is so tight, right? It is at 45.
Yeah.
So what my fear was, and because I was the ringleader to getting everything as quickly as possible, because I didn't want this to take weeks and you guys finish what you're doing and skip town, and then we have nothing to show for it. So that is the reason for the short turnaround. Go ahead.
And no, I hear what you're saying, and I think from everything I'm hearing, and I hear the passion, I really do. I think that the best way to address your concerns is to have that site plan approval with whatever conditions that we need to agree to move forward. And I'm not asking you to like what we're doing. I understand what you're saying. I do. But I can assure you that we are trying to do this in a proper manner. I have our subject matter expert, but I can't speak for before. I've seen emails. I do know that there were efforts to discuss this, but I wasn't present, so it's all secondhand to me, right? But I know that a lot of those efforts were related to a potential carbon capture project. And I know that what the injection well might have gotten lost is the test well in between. And I know there was focus on a moratorium, and I know there was focus on an ordinance, and that was all focused on a carbon capture project for a lot of the reasons that you've talked about here and that I heard on Tuesday night.
Because those two things were interchangeable during the early communication.
Fair enough. I mean, I know that there were communications by the summertime, and I'm not trying to
No.
quibble about it at all. I know that there were communications, later on in the process where we were trying to make sure that folks did understand that we're planning to move forward with a test well later in the summer.
Mhm.
And that it was just gonna be a test well, and it wasn't gonna be a full-blown project. I don't know, and again, I'm not trying to say how that was internalized or whether we could have communicated differently, or again, I can't really address that except to say I know that there were efforts. And I'm not meaning to whitewash anything. I mean to say, we're here trying to address it here tonight. We've tried to follow the process that we talked about with your attorneys, and apply for an approval through the formal mechanisms of your township, and trying to provide the information that you all requested in that process.
Can I ask if there was a reason why the formal process wasn't followed prior? Because I think that is the sticking point with everybody, is
Oh,
that
absolutely.
we just feel like, okay,
it was coming in and
we were
saying
giving
we're
you
gonna do it.
communication on a certain project, and we pretty much said, because this is the interpretation I got from Molly and the group, was, we're gonna do it regardless what you say. And that, of course, did not stick very well. So because I know it's been told that, well, we didn't know that we needed to do a site plan approval. I don't think you guys have ever gone, or any of your clients have ever gone to any municipality, city, town, county, whatever it is, and not do some type of thing with the local community.
So actually, I was telling this to one of your residents the other day. I actually have, and I know it's unusual, but so I do a lot of work in the mining sector, like metallic mines, like up in the UP, and there are statutes under NREPA where there is preemption of local Part 632 as an example, not Ferris town mine. And so I'm not trying to justify, I'm just trying to tell you what
Sure.
my understanding is. Is that with focusing just on the test well, that the focus was on complying with substantive requirements of Part 625, which governs these types of wells. And that covered there is preemption as it relates to the SESC permit. So that runs through Eagle when you're going through Part 625. I think there was genuinely understanding that that was what was required to do the well. That essentially was the state that governed that. And again,
No, can I ask a clarifying question
Yeah,
though?
sure.
So I can understand that, that permit may be for the well and the well itself.
Yeah.
But that permit doesn't give you the ability to put in a 2-acre parking lot and run things 24/7. And when you're within a municipality that has no noise ordinances, lighting ordinances, and all the different ordinances, your test well may be that is the permit for that.
And there may not have been a distinct, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
There may not have been a distinction between those. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's why.
I just hope that if it was a true mistake, which I don't think it was, you guys moving forward, always, it doesn't matter if your permit says you're exempt from God himself, that you go to the local municipality, because we have teeth here, and you might get lucky at the next one and they might just roll over and take it. But it is unfair to every community that you go into, just assuming that, well, the state let me do it, so I can override everything. It just makes you look bad.
I hear what you're saying.
And I understand that we're beating you guys up because we haven't had the opportunity since this whole thing started. So we're venting all of our frustrations that we're getting from not only ourselves, but our residents. So, go ahead, Mama.
So, Marlon McCoy, I just wanted to say, completely understand what everybody is saying. And part of the communication, as you mentioned, started in January for that purpose, right? The dialogue, to have the back and forth, to have that understanding. The reason we had the open house to educate and give you the understanding of what zonal isolation truly is, how you would not have cross flow between reservoirs, as you're mentioning, right? So that was that is the purpose of it. In terms of previous projects, same format where we do interact, we do reach out to the local municipalities and have that discussion in terms of how we actually, made that mistake, that oversight. Again, just want to make it clear. Yes, we went down to 90 feet. When this was brought to our attention, everything was halted. So we are at 90 feet. That's it. Right? We haven't continued since then, since this was brought to our attention.
Because we had a lawyer involved. That's the reason I think you guys will hold off, because you broke a bunch of our ordinances.
Well,
but you know what's funny? So I got John Q. Public over here wants to build a house around the corner. By the time he can build a house, he's got to go to the health department. He's got to go to the road commission. Nick knows you built 2 houses. You guys just throw a culvert around, let her rip, and hey, it's all right, it's cool. It's not cool. Not at all. So that's why we're upset. You understand that part? How do you like that in your backyard?
again,
Don't interrupt me. How would you like that in your backyard?
you're asking me a question. How do you say I'm interrupting? You actually have a question,
Answer it.
right? Again, when it was brought to our attention, we stopped. And that was the reason, as I said, for the open dialogue since January. If we were aware of it, of course we would have, and that is why we stopped, and we are doing what we're doing right now, providing that information.
So I apologize for interrupting, but so since you guys have paused, since this has been brought to your attention, would you guys commit to staying on a pause until this is resolved? Meaning, if we do approvals with conditions, until all of those conditions are met, you're paused until we give the okay that your lighting is good, your noise mitigation is good. We'll double check with the 3 residents that are, mostly the gentleman that lives right across the street, that he says his whole house is lit up every single night. I mean, would you guys commit to pausing until? And I'm not saying it would take months, unless it's on your guys' timeline, it takes you guys that long to meet the conditions, but is that something you guys would be willing to commit to? Since you guys have already paused for almost a week.
That is what we're looking for, right?
Okay.
Because we're not gonna drag our feet and you guys are starting complying with what we're asking. We're just trying to protect our residents.
Yep.
And we're not gonna drag it out months. We've already started. Obviously, it's gonna have to get finished at some point. We're not trying to have you guys here. They already have their permits from Eagle. And that's dated. We are trying to protect our residents, and that is our main concern.
And I agree with Shelby that you got the permit from Eagle to do the well, so that has already been approved. So
we can't do anything.
We can't do anything about that. But we can make sure that you have all the correct permits from everywhere you need to, including the driveway permit that was issued yesterday. And making sure that the lighting is within reason, the noise is within reason, and all of our questions have been asked. The only stipulation I have looking at all of this and kind of coming back to the water situation is you guys gave a really nice, excerpt about how you're going to test water, but it's going to be one nearby well that you're going to test daily. Who's going to be testing that? Who's going to be making sure that it's within limits? I need a little bit more clarification on that piece of it. Because if it's one of your people, I don't trust it.
I have a question.
We'd be open to.
Okay.
And there's a suggestion from you, Township engineer.
Okay.
With the well testing, I saw that it said you're just gonna test it daily. Now, can this drilling affect it from, say, overnight, where it needs to be tested in the morning, like before the start of the day and at the end of the day?
Well, they'd be
or is it
continuously
throughout?
drilling.
Yeah, that's
They'd
right.
be, yeah, they'd be
I read it
continuously
as like
drilling.
testing once per day. I didn't understand if it was continuous, twice
Oh,
a day, once a
I see
day,
what you're saying.
what the parameter was on that.
The plan right now is for pulling sample Wednesday.
Okay, so it's not continuous. It's continuous throughout the project, but just once a day. Now, can that be affected, like, can it change from when, say, your end hours at night to the next morning, but say you don't test it until after work the next day? Like, can that water sample differ within that time? Is that realistic or no?
It's,
Possible, I
I
should
would
say,
say
not
it's-
realistic, but
I
possible.
would say it's as realistic, because as we know, there are natural fluctuations
Mhm.
regardless.
Well, yeah, well, you said within a parameter, right?
Yeah.
So, but if it, could it change without, outside of that parameter from, I don't know, I don't know if I'm explaining it well enough, but, from like morning to night, like overnight.
Like within a 12-hour period, like if
Yeah.
you tested at 8 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock in the morning, and could it change at 8 PM versus the next 8 AM? Could it change in a 12-hour period versus a 24-hour period?
Again, it is likely, but it's just as likely as.
You would catch it at that 24-hour period, pretty
the
much.
Natural change that you would experience whether it rained more, whether it was drier, whether
Okay.
the water table was higher, whether it was lower. So the variances are just as natural, I would say, as you would be able to detect it in someone's home.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't know if like that extra time of not testing, if it could be detrimental. That's more of the concern.
Yeah.
Where's the well you're gonna be testing?
It will be south of where we're drilling.
Is it already in? Is it?
It's
existing well?
It's an existing well.
The south down gradient of what you're drilling?
Yes, it is.
Is it a well you put in or? is
No,
it-
no, it's an existing well.
Existing, okay.
They're not allowed, yeah, one of our conditions is they're not, and had already indicated they were not putting in a
Yeah.
water well.
The neighbor right down the road or whatever, or across the street,
It's a business down the road.
it's a business, oh, sound beans.
I don't know if that will.
Well, you stop.
Also.
That's our.
Wholesome.
Wholesome.
Okay, so just to get back on track, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with this. And this is, I mean, if we're thinking about conditions are gonna take more than a 5-minute discussion.
Oh,
Because just like this, we're gonna test wells. Well,
Mhm.
where are you gonna test the well? You're gonna test the depth of casing, what are you gonna test for? What parameters? So that's why I know I'm not a very sharp guy, but I'm smart enough to know when there's a lot more here than we can chew in 5 minutes. Because if we're gonna we're gonna say, okay, yeah, we're gonna do something, we're gonna put a condition on there and everyone to push, Tuesday, oh, let's do a condition and we'll get it through. I don't even know what the conditions mean right now because there's too many parts here, this well. Okay, testing it, what are we gonna do? That's one. The lighting, what are we gonna do if, the guy behind you is totally, bent out of shape? And, is there something we can do to work with you to say, can you work with this guy behind you and move the light a little bit this way? And yes, we'll work with you. Sound, if you put in these barriers, number one, I'm not a sound expert. I don't know what these barriers are. I've seen your thing in the magazine you put in here. I'd have to have time to find out I don't know what sound barrier, if it's gonna do any good or not until I do a little research, I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is more than jam through a guy that's sitting up here and a lady that, just got this and we're gonna try, oh yeah, we gotta get this approved because these guys are here. That was my concern. We gotta go through this. If we wanna go through this, we'll just go through slow and hit everyone.
So,
And then if we have a question on something, then might have to defer and say, we gotta get information on
one thought would be, if I may, that, work through this tonight, but, you know, what Ashley and I could do is work with your council and maybe the township engineer and try and come up with a list of conditions that make sense. So, you know, we can deal with our folks and just making sure we've got the science right, because we don't know the engineering aspects of it. But then you've got your township engineer who can truth check it, sort of third party, so it's not just, you know, us. Probably helpful to go through some of that tonight, but, you know, things like, you know, sound and, you know, verification that and making sure so I hear what you're saying.
And our township residents were, the other day, Tuesday, when they were here, they were, I thought they were pretty fair. The guy that was right behind you, or right next to you, to the north, said, you know, all right, if it's, you know, 35, 40 days or whatever, and it's done, then that's one thing. If it isn't, you know, going on for months and months, you know, he can live with something. Obviously, what something is, I don't know right now, but, so if we want to go start going through this, I mean.
So we did, you know, I wrote out the list of conditions that the PC kind of went through with the help of Dave and Armin, and Mallory and Mike wrote up kind of a resolution that lists all the conditions. So if we want to go through that and kind of check off what they've already provided, right? And then what we need more clarification on, and more research on, I think we can identify that tonight.
That would be wonderful. Do you have actually a list that you could share?
Yeah.
Dan, I have a copy.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mallory. I was trying to think if I had another copy of the. So it is, I mean, all the, if you want to grab your resolutions, it's all of the front page is the whereas stuff, which is just normal stuff. From the 40 pieces of paper that. There it is. Want a copy? Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Dave. You want to talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
A couple other things that this discussion has brought up that I think would be pertinent, probably with the resolution we get to talking about. In particular importance of order though, but we all know that Eagle is short-handed. Anybody that works with them on a daily basis, it's impossible to get a hold of, whether it's inspections, whether it's anything. So I know that when you'll be putting in like you're putting in the well now, I would like the ability for the township to inspect the stormwater issues out there to make sure none of those chemicals are going into that creek that's to the north of them. Because that could actually happen today and Eagle could show up a week from now going, yeah, that could have been a problem, but it's all gone now because it's all washed away. I think it's our best interest to make sure that the community knows that those creeks are not having any of these. And I know some of them are harmless that night, that type of thing, but you've got other things there that could be long-term problematic there. So I would like that option for the township to be able to do that inspection. Second thing, the water report you're talking about, yeah, we will review the water reports and we can actually give you a list of what's expected to be tested for the water, whether it's part per million, the hydrogen sulfides, nitrates, sulfates. We will give you that list of what we expect to see in the water. And I also recommend that it's done exactly the same time on a daily basis. You don't want to be doing it 8 o'clock in the morning one day and 9 o'clock at night the next day. Because stormwater will affect the concentrations of water in some respects, and that has to be put in consideration to get that too. But it has to be done on the same time and same day, and that way it's a more clear and pronounced. But we'll give you a list of what Eagle considers potable water, true testing for potable waters and that type of thing, okay? The next thing is I think you should get some liability insurance for the township, just in case these issues do occur, that's a liability, that they should have a liability insurance from you writing out to the township saying that they are actually going, you're gonna cover anything that happens, so the township isn't liable for constituents that may or may not be losing their well. And or any other occurrence, road destruction, then now the road that they're gonna have to pay for, that type of thing. So trying to cover everything here to make sure that the township doesn't have any liability to that. And that's about it. I just added some additional things there.
Awesome, thanks, Dave.
So I guess when you guys are done with that site, right, you're gonna clean gravel out of it, put back the dirt back and all that? You have
That
to
is
get rid
part of your Eagle permit. It says it has to go back to agriculture. And I know when the PC met, Nick asked about, and Marlon gave a pretty good explanation that when they cap it, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 4 feet underneath,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So any agricultural type things that happen, planting, whatever, it won't
Right.
come in contact.
I guess my suggestion is too, that you get that gravel out of there and drop it down the road. The residents will love you for that. That'll save you some money. I would like to send us back to, you guys ain't gonna like this, send us back to the planning commission so we can get all these.
Well, did we want to go through the conditions and see what our thoughts are on all the conditions
Yeah, 'cause
first?
some of them are, you know.
Questions?
Some of them are
explained
already done,
Yes.
right? And then that way we can
Let's
kind of
get it
give them a more robust,
well. Yeah, where if like there's
list.
things we have more questions on, then they can focus. it.
correct. So on page 2, it says conditions of approval. So A is compliance prior to any additional drilling. So no drilling shall take place at the subject property unless and until all conditions of the rest of this resolution is met. I think we kind of come to the agreement that that wouldn't be an issue as long as we're working towards an approval. So I think we said that would be met. B, additional documentation information required, a list of all chemicals that will be on site. We did receive that today. A plan to ensure the future integrity of the caps. Is there any additional information, research that you guys can give us regarding how the well will be capped? Because like Nick said, he's used to wells just being completely filled. This is for me at least, a new way of capping a well. Is there documentation that you can provide us that can kind of give us a little more information and where this has been done previously and that wells haven't just collapsed? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so Marlon will get that to us. Anything else with that, guys?
No, I think just better understanding of it and like you said, previous use of these so that we have more information.
Information regarding testing of the well before and after drilling. I can't remember what that was.
Well, it's the testing of this was the well testing.
Like the water testing, is that?
Well,
Or-
information regarding it.
Okay.
Where, what well they're testing, where it's
Okay.
at, how deep is it? Some information on that well.
Okay. Yeah,
Where
so,
the static water level is on it now, where, if that, we don't know what they're testing, so.
yeah, so if we could just get a
see what
broader
they're testing,
information,
It might be in
more
there.
detailed information
I'm
of,
sure they're gonna do
It sounds
the,
like we need to combine what you're asking for with what Dave was asking for in terms of how we test.
water well testing and then what you guys are finding or
Oh, okay.
looking at in the
You're
actual
talking about
test
the
well.
mineral test well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So water well is what Dave was indicating with that testing. So if we could get more information about exactly what you're looking for in this test well.
yeah, what you're testing for, what it entails. I'm sure they're gonna do the depth static.
I'm sorry?
In the mineral test?
In the mineral test well, yeah.
The results of our.
Results and just kind of a more
A list of what you're
yeah.
testing program.
for, yeah.
We're testing A, B, C, and D, and we're testing every day or every 2 days, whatever it is. This is, who's testing it, who's pulling the samples, where it's going, what lab, that kind of, just whatever you probably already had turned in, I'm sure.
Go ahead.
Really quick, I'd like to see that on the site plan too, so you can show us exactly which well you're putting on, so the world will know which particular location it is. So, one more.
You're talking about the water well now?
The water well that
Yes.
you're going to be testing.
Okay, so we were talking about, we were talking about two
Oh,
different
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay.
Also on the, I was gonna say real quick, too, I think the $33,000 is really quite weak. We have to have some kind of assurance that even if it exceeds the 33,000, you're still gonna bring that back.
Any required DNR approval? I know this was a big sticking point with residents on Tuesday that, you know, there's wildlife and everything over there. Has the DNR been contacted? Is that something?
It's also bow season right now.
It is bow season. Yeah.
No, my understanding is that there are no DNR approvals necessary. This is really through Eagle. We
Okay.
make sure we have all our Eagle approvals. And certainly if we get additional information, but we obviously for the health and safety of not just residents, but also our own workers, we're very mindful of. Well, and I know the light mitigation piece of it too is, you know, one resident was worried about, you know, migration patterns of birds, bats, all of that. So. Yeah, and that's part of why we want to finish as quickly as possible. Correct. So we can get done with that. And we can appreciate that. A detailed emergency response plan. So I believe that is, there is no additional response plan other than this hydrogen sulfide with the flare stack. Correct. Or is there?
There's a site safety plan.
Okay, could you provide that to us? Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's in here.
Is it?
Yeah,
The site safety?
I think so.
Okay,
If it's not in there, we'll get it.
thank you.
I don't think the site one.
I didn't see that one. A revised site plan drawings in the size requested by David Arthur Consultants. So I'll send you that email, and if you're able to print them, great. If you can't, let me know and I'll communicate with them to.
And we're gonna revise them anyway.
Oh, fair.
The additional information you just referred to.
Make sure to sign the stamp too.
Okay.
I will not be signing this.
That might be a good thing.
Copy of the proof of the performance bond or similar surety provided by Eagle. You guys did provide that, but we would like something additional to make sure that it can be properly returned to ag land. Copy of contingency.
Can we get some advice from the attorney on what we can do, what we can do in regards to the surety bond? Or some kind of assurance that we.
Yeah, the 32,000, that's set by Eagle, that amount. And that is specifically, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's specifically for if Eagle after the fact says that it's not capped or sealed properly, and then Eagle ends up doing it themselves. So that is specific to that purpose.
So it's nothing with the township except for the fact that it is in the township.
Correct. It's for making sure that the well is properly sealed and capped and.
I got you. So it's if they have to bring outside resources then to redo it or properly seal it.
Yeah, so I think getting an additional surety bond to make sure that that property looks identical to what it was.
You're talking about reclamation bond essentially.
Yes.
Okay. Copy of contingency plan from Eagle. I did not see a contingency plan that was asked.
That was the H2S.
Thank you. Thank you. Results of the baseline water testing. So that will, we're going to work on that to make sure that Dave, you'll help us with that, get somebody that you trust to do that testing and get that process going. Okay.
I guess the bigger question is, what if we see a deviation? So what would be the next step then?
What's the shutdown?
Yep. So I guess that is.
You're talking about so not the testing they're gonna do with the well over at Folsom. You're talking about doing some testing. They're doing testing at the residential home and all of a sudden the water drops 10 feet within a 48-hour period, which would be an anomaly. Or the fact that maybe the sulfates all of a sudden increase. We're gonna have some kind of
contingency plan.
Some kind of limit saying, okay, we got a problem here. We got to talk about what's going on here. Well, not only that, I mean, that's something that's got to go lickety split. Well, we're going to be watching them on a daily basis with regards to what the chemical contents are. Some of the testing you can't do within a day, but right, you want to go around to some wells in the township around this facility, 4 or 5, whatever it is, and test the wells, get the static water level and blah, blah. So, I mean, that's gonna take some time to get the baseline, and the baseline's gotta be done before they're doing the work. So
Well, I
I'm
think
just,
the all-during process that we're talking about right now, we're gonna get started on that immediately once they're accepting to that, so. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think one well is good enough, because I think we should actually have media on top and bottom, left and right.
Yeah.
Something of that nature too.
Yes.
Which I say, the neighbor to the north.
Yeah.
Neighbor to the south, neighbor to the east.
Yes.
And give you a good.
If that's all right.
23. West side of 23.
It's
Good.
directly from
Written confirmation that the Milan Area Fire Department and Dundee, because we do have two volunteer fire departments, has reviewed the site plan and approved emergency access provisions. So again, I'm not sure who Molly contacted. When we contacted our fire chief, he said that nobody.
Both.
Oh, sorry,
I was
both.
gonna say, from at the Milan meeting, our chief stated that, yes, he gave them the information and then never heard anything back
Okay.
about coming out or anything like that.
So seeing as we have two volunteer fire departments that are very strapped with resources, they need to be very involved with this, especially since we have flare stacks, especially since we have chemicals on hand and all of that. So that will need to be confirmed that they have gotten everything that they need.
Yeah, I do not remember the name of the person specifically, but last communication was they would be bringing 4 additional department heads or chiefs with them, as well as leveling hazmat. So that was the last communication. So we are working on that. Yeah, I'm about to say.
Okay,
So that's a work
perfect.
in progress.
Perfect. That's work in progress. Okay.
Is this a MSHA or is this a OSHA? Are you, you're not a mining, considered a mine? are you?
No,
So it's OSHA,
No, me, right?
MIOSHA, yeah, MIOSHA. A photometric plan to verify that all lighting is fully shielded and prevents glare or spillover onto adjacent properties or roadways. That should be on the site plan that Dave will be getting updated.
We provided
Prints.
additional information. The one caveat that we'll have to build into the conditions that we talked about last time, I think Marlon mentioned it, is just ensuring that it's the minimum amount of light that's necessary to protect.
Sure.
Health and safety.
Yeah. We just want to make sure that it stays on the site versus being
Understood.
on the roadways.
Like we talked about, you can shield it. You don't have to put it all over the neighborhood, just shield it.
Mhm.
You can have it as high intensity as you want on the site itself. We're not gonna hold you to that. So.
Yeah. So Dave, I'll kind of lean on you a little bit to make sure that you get whatever you need for that.
That'd be fine.
Okay. Written clarification of the purpose of the flare stack, identify potential impacts, odor, light emissions, and describe safety protocols. I believe we got,
I think that's something.
yeah, I that looked good. A copy of a driveway permit, we did receive that, and identify existing buffers on the site plan, which we did get, and I will lean on Dave to make sure that they're appropriately identified on that. And then C is, so before I move on, so any additional conditions that we can think of at this time before?
No, I'll look at my notes.
Okay.
You can just keep going.
Okay, Mark, anything?
Well, this is costing the township and taxpayers a bunch of money, which shouldn't. So I think you should be paid for a lawyer and engineer.
Well, so they gave the escrow,
Yeah.
and once that's depleted, and this is still going
Okay.
on, an additional escrow will
Just wanna
be
make sure it's clear.
required.
It shouldn't cost our residents money
Correct.
to have you guys come in and drill.
Correct. So once that $10,000 is exhausted, I will communicate to have an additional $10,000 dropped off. And whatever's left over at the end of the project will be reimbursed per our ordinance. But as it gets depleted, and I will have a running list of different invoices and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Yeah,
pay,
no,
we
I-
take 50 grand and walk away. It doesn't work.
No. I will have a list of invoices and the amounts of those invoices and what it was for, lawyer, engineer, PC meetings, whatever it is. So I can make sure to give you guys a copy of that as well
You guys
at
are
the end.
going to allow like to have an engineer maybe have access if we need to inspect or whatever, or?
I'll need accessibility to the site, or at least one of our crew. Is that an issue?
We'll have to discuss that with, our HSC, right?
What's that?
We'll have to discuss that with our HSC, right?
Okay.
We gotta add, on a condition that they're not gonna drill another water.
Oh, yes, we want that in writing, that
Yeah.
there will be no water. I
Condition.
know we have talked about it ad nauseum,
They
but
said they're not going to.
correct, but the
just
Eagle
add it to their
permit does
condition.
allow you guys to, so I want it in a condition.
Put it in a condition.
That's later.
Oh, is it? Okay, thank you. It is later in the resolution.
Well, there might be conditions that we don't have to meet, that are just conditions of the approval, so if that's one of the conditions, that's fine.
Sure, yeah. So C is compliance with Eagle permit, so it just indicates that, you know, the general, specific and general conditions of the Eagle permit, including but not limited to agency notifications prior site prep and drilling, compliance with the H2S rules and contingency planning, erosion and sedimentation controls, including topsoil management, perimeter dikes, and silt fencing, use of 20 mil PVC liners or approved alternatives under rig substructure, motors, and tanks, prohibition of earthen reserve pits, use of steel tanks for drilling, mud, and cuttings, noise minimization measures, including hospital-type engineer mufflers and sound barrier walls. So this I know was a sticking point because in your Eagle permit, it says hospital-type engine mufflers, but you guys are using industry type mufflers with the sound barriers. So if we can just get confirmation that those two things equate or are better than hospital grade, because that is an Eagle requirement. Waste handling and disposal, including cuttings and mud. I'm assuming you guys have Stevens. I saw that, I think, in your guys' site plan. Stevens disposal is handling all of that. Okay. Use of certified drilling additives and prohibition of PFAS. I did see that in your site plan. Well control, equipment ratings and testing, timely submittal of drilling, completion, and plugging records, plugging and abandonment procedures, submittal of logs and records as required, compliance with all general permit conditions regarding property rights, other permits, and site cleanup. Marlon, I know you said you were kind of explaining it on Tuesday, and I just wanted a little bit of clarification. So you guys say the project is 30 to 45 days. It kind of varies. Sometimes you guys say 35 to 45, sometimes it's 35 to 40, but you were kind of saying that because we had said that the Eagle permit gives you 30 days to cap and be done with that. But you had said that the capping would be completed within that 45-day period. Did I understand that correctly? So the well will be drilled, tested, capped, all within that 30 to 45-day project window. Is that correct? Okay.
When does the reclamation of the property, that's not at the same time necessarily, though, right? That could take longer now.
It only way it could take longer depending on when we can.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're at
If
like
it's
43
winter.
days and obviously it goes over.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah.
You know, if it's winter time or something like that.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely.
Stephanie, was
Yeah.
there anything that we had in the, for the conditions and approval that Data brought up about the, ditches and the runoff and the chemicals? Like possible chemical
He
spray?
did, he was
Did he?
gonna test a
Okay.
runoff.
Yeah.
I
There's
couldn't
gonna be-
remember if we had mentioned it.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Testing
test
the runoff.
The stormwater measures are intact, and there's no, any kind of leakage from the site, so.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Dave.
I couldn't remember.
And then D is future amendments to Eagle permit. So if Eagle amends, supplements, or supersedes conditions under the permit number, the most current Eagle condition shall control and shall automatically be deemed incorporated as conditions of this site plan approval, provided they are not less protective than those in effect at the time of this approval or included as conditions in this resolution or by the Township Board as part of its final approval. I don't see any issue with that. E, conformance to submitted site plan and application materials. So the project shall be constructed, operated, and maintained in strict conformance with the site plan and all supporting materials submitted with the application, including but not limited to site and well pad survey, driveway plan, soil erosion and sedimentation control plan, equipment layout, lighting plan, shielded directed lighting to minimize offsite impacts, noise minimization plan, so the hospital grade mufflers, sound barrier walls and natural screening, unless we can equate the industry and the sound barrier walls as equitable. And then emergency contact and citizen hotline procedures. I believe Molly provided that. She provided a hotline. I guess would that be the same as an emergency contact? Would that be, is there a separate? Perfect. In that same, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll make sure to get that on the website for residents.
Steph, I have one
Yeah.
more question. Timing for reclamation. Again, we talked about it briefly here. When you cap party's over, you guys are moving out. What are you talking about for a time between the time that you got the gravel there and you're bringing it back to farmland? Are you talking about within a month? Within a week?
I think Marlon said that depends on
Winter
weather
conditions.
mostly.
Okay.
I mean, I think the hope would be if we can get it done soon enough that we could reclaim it. soon.
Before weather impacts it. Yeah.
We can coordinate too if you were serious about reusing that gravel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Be a good neighbor plan.
Yep, absolutely. Next page, F is assurance regarding temporary water well and future use of property for CO2 sequestration or injection. So as a condition of site plan approval, DTE expressly affirms and agrees that notwithstanding Eagle permit number 61860, no temporary water well will be installed on the subject property, and therefore no temporary water well shall be permitted on the subject property without approval of an amended site plan by the township. Additionally, the subject property shall not at any time be used for carbon dioxide, CO2 sequestration or injection. These assurances are binding on DTE and its successors and assigns. I don't see any issue with that. Okay.
And that's kind of also covered in the conditions as well.
Correct. Hours of operation, I know was another sticking point. So we had originally asked for 7 to 6. You guys had provided details of why 7 to 6 wouldn't be appropriate, that you needed to do 20. Was it 24/7 or? Okay, that's what I thought. So my thought is, and kind of piggybacking off of what one of the residents said on Tuesday, I'd rather deal with them for 30 to 45 days with this project rather than 3 months if we limit their hours of operation. And Armin and Dave provided good instruction of why 24.
That came from the closest resident too.
Yeah, and the closest resident said, I would rather deal with it 24/7 for 30 days to 45 days than 7 to 6, Monday through Friday
Right.
for 6
Or
months.
however long.
Right. So I don't think 24/7, based on what we heard with residents and everything and just getting this project done, I don't think that would be a huge sticking point. Thoughts,
Oh, I'm good with it.
Chubbs?
Yeah,
Think you're
As
good?
long as the neighbors are good with it.
They
I'm
were
good with
good.
it.
They were good with it, and that was,
The residents are good?
They
Yeah.
were here and
okay, so we'll say 24/7 is the hours of operation. Completion date, so obviously, since you guys are kind of on a pause, your start date was probably a few weeks ago. Obviously, that's a little skewed now, thank you. But I guess it depends on how quickly we can get these conditions met. How long did it take you guys to do 90 feet? Oh, okay. I was thinking it was a couple weeks. Okay. Okay, so
Do you want to do like a,
tentative start.
or is it like, I don't know if this is out of the question, you guys can guide on this, if it's 30 days from agreement on conditions, 40 days from agreement on conditions, is that, like, can it be
well, if they're
stated that
stopped,
way?
if they're stopped drilling right now.
Yes.
Well, that's
it
what
would
I'm
be-
saying, from agreements, which would be
Yes.
the next start point.
Yeah, I would
So
say
is
that.
it like?
Oh, agreements that the conditions are met?
Yes, like both parties agree 30 days
Once
from
we have
that
an
point.
agreement,
I was 45.
put
But-
forward.
Yeah.
I would
like
say
that-
45,
I'm just
yeah.
throwing a number.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure there's enough slack. that
Yes.
If there's something unforeseen.
Yeah,
that
I was
we
just
have
throwing a
to-
number out.
Well, I know the
Yeah.
first 90 feet are gonna be easy. After you hit bedrock, it's gonna
Yeah.
be a little more difficult, obviously.
What would the minimum number that you guys would feel comfortable with? Yeah.
Well, there's two things there. I'll let Marlon speak to the number, but we'll need some lawyer speak in here. Like, obviously, if we're not done capping. you don't
Yeah.
want us to
Oh,
stop
sure.
except
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sure that,
Yeah.
Safety reasons. that-
Correct. Yeah, pending any safety concerns, absolutely. But
Instead of must cease, that is stated as you're expecting it to be done by, within X number of days. Obviously, yeah, barring unforeseen circumstances. or
circumstances,
something,
does
and
that
then-
sound good?
Yeah,
Mallory?
You don't have to include, this is just,
Okay, okay,
if you're comfortable with not putting a specific date on it.
Yeah.
whatever The board wants.
okay.
Yeah, the other thing I guess I would just ask as we're kind of going through this, I know you guys want us out here as soon as possible, and I know we want to finish as soon as possible. I do wonder, and I asked Mallory this, but also the board and Dave, that I do wonder if there's a way that this could be approved tonight with the understanding that we still have to work out the details of some of these with the township engineer and make sure that there's mutual agreement on a few of those things. I don't know if that's possible or not. But I want to at least ask. in the
Sure.
efforts to be efficient.
I think it's a fair question, but I think we have fair answers as well. I don't see and you guys speak, I don't see the value in approving it now, when you're gonna have to come back to say these conditions have been met. We're going to have to agree that the conditions have been met, and I don't see an issue getting a special meeting together to say, hey, we got all our conditions met, can we meet? Because a special meeting only needs to be posted 18 hours.
No, that's fair. What I was thinking, typically in these situations, when there's a conditional approval, you would agree to this. By agreeing to it, you're not agreeing that we've met the conditions. You're
Sure.
agreeing that we have to. And then usually we would either go to the public body, whether it's the board or the PC, usually it's the deciding body.
Mhm.
Or you designate, for example, your township engineer, your lawyers, or both, to sign off on that. There's a lot of different ways to do it, so that's what I was wondering about. I'm not saying that you're agreeing that we've met any
Sure.
conditions.
What I
Go ahead.
would like to do is table this and send it back to the planning commission until you lawyers can get together and get an agreement to get this all straightened out and hammered out. They can review it, double check it, Dave can relook. The lawyer can get in there and get involved and look at it, make sure we're all in agreement. As long as planning commission pushes it back to us, we can have a special meeting.
Dave's gotta find out when he can get a baseline,
Right.
testing of the wells around this facility.
Right.
Once you get that, then it would, to me, then it.
Because I think the
Then it's
time.
a go, it's a go.
Yeah, I think the time frame is going to be the same, whether we approve it tonight or we have a special meeting, because I mean,
Next week.
next, right. So I don't think there'll be
But answer my
any,
next question.
yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
there'll be any time constraints or time delays
Gotcha.
by
The
waiting.
biggest thing is that.
The water.
Because we can't have a baseline
Agreed.
if we don't do it
Agreed.
beforehand.
And I got a question that I don't have the answer for right in front of me. When does your Eagle permit expire?
Even permits are good for 2 years, I believe.
Okay.
Okay.
So we don't have to worry about that.
My suggestion is to do that.
Okay.
Table it, send it back to planning commission. Once it gets everything involved, next Tuesday, they can get on this and get rolling. And if they approve it, and it comes back, we can
And-
have a special meeting next week.
And Pat, I'll get all the planning commission, I'll get everything squared away for you guys, so it's in a clean, nice little package, so.
Okay.
And obviously, I'll get Jenna to post the video from tonight, so we can and Cheryl's here, so, and Nick's here, so it's just Matt and Justin, to make sure that they have access to the video so they can take a look at it.
I mean, you guys did a good job Tuesday doing what you did. You
Yes.
didn't have enough information to go on. You did
Absolutely.
exactly what you should have done.
So just to finish out this, to make sure that we kind of all agree, so Mallory can make any changes, so a completion date will kind of keep broad right now. And then compliance with township engineering standards. I had sent the engineering standards over to DTE and Battelle. So they shall comply with the applicable standards, including but not limited to providing the drawings, blah, blah, blah. And then ongoing compliance with our zoning ordinances, which is what we've been talking about ad nauseum. So, and And then nothing in this approval authorizes any activity contrary to federal, state, or local law. Where requirements conflict, the more protective provision shall apply. Any and all resolutions that are in conflict with this resolution are hereby repealed, which there isn't any, so. Anything else that we can think of condition-wise that if we need them to provide us any additional
We can always reach out. to
thoughts,
the planning commission.
prayers?
Well, and I think with the lawyers and Dave and DC and all them, they're probably gonna hammer all that out before it gets us.
I agree.
By next Thursday.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Next Thursday might not work.
Well, she said that they're probably gonna be on Tuesday, like, they're gonna answer all those questions, I'm
Correct.
saying within a week.
Yeah,
Yes,
We might have to do another.
Yeah.
meeting.
So, the zoning ordinance gives the board 45 days to either approve, disapprove, or approve with modifications.
Mhm.
Without really digging into it, I'm not sure that you can send it back to the planning commission, but you also.
have
can
45
take-
days.
Yeah,
Okay,
so, I mean, that's.
That's
not to
fair.
say You can't have, conversation. you
Absolutely.
know, Or have another meeting and ask the planning commission members to participate or.
Okay.
But just so you know.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we can just table it pending all of the additional conversations that we need to have. And then once all of those conversations are had, we get everything we need, we can set up a special meeting to review and make sure everything looks A-okay. And we can go from there.
So you think we might just do it at board meeting then? Or-
Yes, because Mallory is wonderful. She reminded us of that. So, yeah, so it won't go to PC. We might ask them to take a look at some things, but you'll communicate with Dave, myself, Mark, Mike, Mallory,
Okay,
to get all of that squared away.
makes sense.
Do you guys have any questions, or anything additional?
I would just say, we're motivated to move quickly on this because, obviously it's in everybody's best interest to get on
Yes.
out. So I need,
Agreed.
we'll make ourselves available to hammer this out. And
Okay.
get everything, so.
I appreciate that. And then I do have the answers to the questions from residents. I will ask the residents, if you want me to read them, I will read them. Otherwise, they will be getting posted on the website. Okay. I agree. Okay.
All right, I make a motion to basically table this, and send it back to the PC.
Nope.
Oh, wait a minute, yeah, hang on. Yeah, I just wanna-
Motion, do you want me to make a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. I make a motion to table the approval of the site plan until all conditions are met and discussed.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds better.
So can I get a second? Thank you.
Want to do a roll call on that?
Yes. Supervisor Bogey,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes. Joel is absent. Trustee Shelby
Yes.
and Trustee Nick.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Board comments. Go ahead, Mark.
All right. All right, I will discuss some of this road commission meeting I'm at on September 15th for the going forward with the 2026 roads. If you notice, there's grade stakes out here on Cone Road that they're marking off. They're gonna start widening this road. I don't have a date on that yet, but they did go out and survey it. They're working on it.
Holy Toledo.
Got a lot going on. And then more meetings I need to know. So they're surveying Cone Road and all that right now. The bridge on County Line, which they've been trying to put in for 5 years now, finally got approved. Eagle approved it. Back to the county. $9.7 million to put that bridge in.
Which one?
Where?
County Line, the Macon,
Cone and Welch.
yeah,
County line.
it's the Macon Creek basically running through there.
Jeez, Pates.
They finally got approval. It's all state funded. It doesn't come out of our pocket, but $9.7 million.
Wow.
I did have a resident.
Yeah, no kidding.
Went through choosing the roads tonight.
I give you some
Yeah, I know, I
notes
got, I
here.
want to get on these roads, so I don't
Okay.
forget. I had another meeting on September 25th with the county. They're coming out to do a whole bunch of work on Ostrander, Milwaukee, Denison. They're gonna put up new signs, even some speed signs. That's all funded by the state, doesn't come out of our pocket. There's a list, I'd like to bring it up, but we'd be here for another hour, because it's long. It's everything they're doing in the county, so I wanted to give everybody a heads up on that.
Maybe we can post that on the
I
website.
think we should. Oh, yeah, because I ain't got time for
Yeah.
that. Signs are up at the cemetery now. I went out and looked, they don't look too bad.
Good.
The fence is fixed at the cemetery in
Azalea,
Azalea.
yep,
I want to bring up, and you already got it in my notes, thanks.
yep,
That we need to get a budget maybe for next month that we can kind of
Yes.
take a peek at, see where we're sitting in finances, see
Yep.
where we're at there. Trash day was pretty successful this year. $458 was brought in. 68 people were on the list, but some of them come back 5 and 6 times. So if you really want to do the math, it was a lot. Went through 2 compactors and 2
trucks.
2 containers.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Open tops.
they actually, some of the garbage guys took stuff home with them too, so it's kind of nice.
Oh, they took, I don't know how many chairs they took in the spring.
Yeah.
It's funny.
The bicycle, generator.
Yep.
All kinds of good stuff. Pretty much other than that, I did have a resident text me, thank me for the road, because we did an experiment this year with brining the entire road and chloriding just the middle,
Mhm.
and it's worked.
It's worked really well.
Dust has been down a lot less. We did have extremely dry August, September. So the dust that we got, it's gonna happen, but it's a lot less than what it normally is. So I think we're gonna continue that in the 2026 year. I think that's all I
Is
got.
that it? Are you sure? You out of breath?
I'm done.
Just a reminder, election day is 11/4, Tuesday. Absentee ballots did go out. I apologize for the lateness, but with the legal issues with it, our ballot was taking forever. So everybody should have gotten theirs. We've gotten a slew of them back. So we will be open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on election day. This is not a 9-day voting situation that will be next year. So come on and vote.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nick?
Oh, Nick.
Well, you know what the planning commission worked on Tuesday, so. I don't have to go through that.
Nope.
I was gonna go through I took a tour of the natural gas
Oh,
facility
yeah.
up in East China, Township. I can do that at. the
We'll
next
get the
meeting.
pictures for
Yeah,
the
we'll
next
do it at
meeting.
the next meeting. I just didn't want to forget you wanted to know what,
Yeah.
before it was forgotten. I wanted to get it in there, so we'll do it next meeting.
Perfect.
I'm good.
You good? That's all you got?
Yeah.
Dave?
Dave?
Yeah, one real quick thing, Corrigan's starting next week.
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
Okay.
They contacted me and they're gonna be starting next week, so, they're gonna be working in the interior to start with, and then they're start turning up Cone Road more than likely. So time is of the essence to talk to them about if you wanna continue on over to the railroad tracks.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, to the railroad tracks this way,
This way.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
to the west, because I'm not gonna create another.
And we're
road.
working on a couple of ordinances, but I'm not gonna bore you with all that, so.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And
All right.
other than I want to thank the board for all the work they've done and extra hours everyone's put in, and all the extra meetings. Wow, that's more than I need to know.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you,
All right.
Pat.
All right, on the public comment, please keep it civil and state your name and what's going on. Sir.
Well, good evening, Kojo Forte, and I am the president of Monroe County Community College. This is my son Omari. I apologize, I can kind of babysit.
Oh, you're good.
But I think, well, I'm here because we have a millage renewal on the ballot. And for those who follow social media, there's been a lot of noise on social media. Most of, pretty much everything you see there, all the negatives are false. It's incorrect. And I wanted to come here and provide you with that information. So we're responding to that. And it's a renewal.
Say Warren understands.
Yeah.
Warren understands. Warren understands.
We saw some vote no signs, but we're hoping that our friends in the county and community will keep on supporting the college. How many of you are attended Monroe County Community College? How many have family members who attended? Grants who attended? Enemies?
Yeah.
That's not funny these days. Especially with what's happening. So just wanted to come and inform you that you need to follow our website, our webpage, because we're providing the accurate information. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Tim?
My name's Tim Stoll, Milan Township. I didn't hear exactly where they're pulling the water samples from. Did you guys get that?
We're creating a process for
Dave's
that,
gonna
so
have
that's one of the main things
Dave's
that
gonna
we're
put
gonna do.
together something, correct, Dave?
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. And the other, couple other things I got. I come home last night about 9 o'clock from the meeting in Dundee, and that light was very blinding down here from on Ann Arbor Road. I'll second whoever called you and said that was bad.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
then my water increase went from 35 parts per million to 38 parts per million for sulfur. And you guys, I'll volunteer my well. I'm to the north of the drilling. And I also know there's a test well not far from me on a neighbor's property. I can't give you permission to use their well, but I can ask them if they'd be interested. It was also used for the cement plant and for London Sand when it was sucking all the water from around there. So there's a well available if they'll let you use it. I don't know if they will or not.
Okay.
And I've had my well for 20 years, over 20 years. And it's been pretty much the same until they started this. It fluctuates a little bit, but right now it's probably the worst it's been, 38 parts per million. So that's something that they need to be addressed too. And like you said, you're only at 90 feet and we're staying there right now, correct?
Until all conditions are met.
And Mark, one last question, Mark. What are the stakes on Ann Arbor Road for? Is that?
It's over by you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I was just talking about, the Ostrander, Cone Road, Ostrander, Milwaukee, Dennison.
They're putting
coming
all
out.
signs and new
They're gonna put all-
stoplights and, or stop signs and all that.
Do we get a Jake brake sign on that too, or?
I can always ask.
For Ann Arbor Road? I mean, come on, you got Salem being slow for traffic and that's what they do is Jake brake, and then you got a bunch of other guys that do the same shit all the time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you for your guys' time. You guys, after seeing what I seen last night, you guys are outstanding compared to Dundee.
Thank you.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want. Mr. Bridnicki.
For any of you that don't know me, I'm Dale Bridnicki. I live in Navy. I'm running for county commissioner for District 2, which you are in Milan, Exeter, London, and Raisonville. And if you've noticed, you probably haven't had anybody else, any of the other candidates show up. I'm concerned about this one. It's all these issues in these townships. These guys rock. I've been to a lot of township meetings. When I ran for House of Representatives, all 10 townships in that district, and these are the best. You've got a really good group here. I'd be honored to represent you folks in the county commission. This is a special election. There's only a couple things on the ballot. There's some legal issues. The current county commissioner was in prison for operating a drug house. He got out early, wants his seat back. So it is in court. But we're running this election, and none of that's gonna matter. We're gonna run a good, clean election, and hopefully I get all of you folks to vote for me, because I will not be absent like the other candidates. I will be here, because this is my community. I hope I'm adopted by Milan, because I like it a lot better than some of the other things. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dale.
Thanks, Dale.
Yes, sir.
I am the county commissioner next door, and I've been covering District 2 since March to now, and I'm Dave Huffman.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Yep, so I've been around.
Perfect.
Lori.
Yeah, my name is Lori Gray, and I want to thank this board also. I've been to some meetings, and these people are taking what we say seriously, and we appreciate you and what you're doing. I also think it's for this well to come in and to rush our people to okay these site plans and stuff, so that they can continue their work. If they came to us after this township, after that meeting at the middle school, and been more transparent, we wouldn't be sitting here having these conversations right now. And I think that is something that the board brought up, but it also needs to be carried forward when they go someplace else. So when you want what you want, so you can finish what you're doing, you should have been here in August. You should have been here. Now you want what you want. And I appreciate you working with our board, but you just, that's a little bit of hindsight, you know. But thank you for working with us finally and hearing what we have to say as a community. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Tom Hughes, I live right on Old Stringer. My question is, when they're done camping this and all this, and get out of our area, are they gonna test the ground, say maybe a year, 2 years down the road for the chemicals?
Not that I'm aware of.
Cause what goes to say their little drill hole don't leak out into the streams, wells? Is anybody gonna test that?
Good question.
That's a great question. We will ask and see what we can come up.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Cheryl.
So I just wanted to add that last night we did drive down Ann Arbor Road to the north and we passed a car coming to the south. And it was difficult when that car lights were shining at you and you had the test well lights there. So it's like, what, if I didn't know what it was, it would have really bothered me. So those lights were shining onto the road area.
Okay.
And I want to thank them for working with us kind of after the thought, but we appreciate it. And thanks for the board for taking care of it.
Thank you so much for all your work in the short term.
Yeah, that was a headache.
Yeah, sorry. My fault. I'll take it.
Anybody else? Morning.
The gentleman with the beer, I don't remember your name, we spoke.
Carrie?
Oh, yeah, we spoke at one of the meetings and I remember you saying, this wasn't just a conversation you and I had, but I remember you saying in front of everybody that you guys wanted to be neighborly, and if we don't want this, you weren't coming.
So you go ahead.
Can I address
Yeah,
that?
go ahead.
Yes, so this came up at the planning commission meeting on Tuesday, so I, appreciate you asking, I definitely want to clear the air there. What I mentioned on Tuesday was that statement that was made at the open house, that was when we were talking about CO2 injection. We were discussing how if, we inject CO2 into the ground.
This wasn't at the open house, this was at a township meeting when Molly was here, when you guys first came, and you said, well, yeah, you guys, it was about this well, it wasn't about the CO2 injection. This is at a township meeting in this building.
I recall the discussion, we talked, we looked at, the location of the map and stuff like that, I definitely remember the discussion. That statement must have been misunderstood, because every time that I've said that, it's in regard to CO2 injection. Meaning, and anytime that down in the future, if any CO2 is gonna go down into the ground, we have to have approval of anyone's home that would be going underneath, so that was the intention of that remark, not necessarily this test well.
So if we don't want the well, what makes you think we want CO2, so why do it?
I don't. I'm gonna guess you don't want the CO2.
Yeah.
Just, to me, that's just a big waste of money.
Right.
But that's all.
They got a grant.
Yeah.
Biden money.
Yeah.
They got a grant from the Joe Biden administration.
That's what I hope you're gonna bring up.
That's what they did.
That's okay.
That's what they told us.
Oh, did you? That's good.
I thought when you said that, I think he's gonna regret sending that. I remember thinking that. in my head.
All right, thanks, Warren.
Hey, real
Dave?
quick, I went to the Dundee Township fiasco last night too, and what I did notice is Milan Township is off the table for the data center.
Yes, we did receive an email saying that They rescinded their application for the pre-development agreement and they're no longer looking at Milan Township. They're refocusing their efforts on Dundee. They said the same thing to Dundee, except they said they were rescinding the pre-development, but still looking at them for the data center. So I don't trust it as far as I can throw it that they're not going to still try, especially if they sneak in and are able to get water through the village. I would be, I'd bet my house on it that they'll be knocking back on our door. So we'll see. But yes, they did say that they were gonna look elsewhere.
Hold on. Anybody else?
Mary, I think Mary had her hand up.
Yeah, mine are real quick.
Good.
And then, go back. And two of them are comments, and I think that Dave probably is aware of this, but I just wanted to voice it. When there is a safety or contingency plan included, I guess we need to ensure, not I guess, we need to ensure that the MSDS documents for each chemical are in the plan. Also, there's a question about, so we test 4 wells on each side, 4 water wells on each side. Is the Eagle database going to be consulted to ensure that you are drawing that test water from the same depth at which these people's wells are screened?
More than likely, it's not gonna be the exact same depth that's gonna be down. We do use well tech, or well logic, that's what you're talking about, in order to locate the wells and find out the depths of the wells themselves. One thing about a water well is you probably all know, if you get too deep, you're gonna get too much sulfur. If you get medium size, you're gonna end up getting iron bacteria. That's that brown stuff that ruins your toilets. So we have to be consistent with the elevation that goes down. More than likely, it'll be, if you're gonna make the guess, it'd be something between 0 to 50 for the actual chemical analysis of the water.
And then I have one more question, and Mr. Ettinger did say that, you know, we can't change the past, but I would really like to know if there was any DTE environmental permitting engineer that reviewed the site plan and the permit applications before they were submitted to Eagle. Or was this specifically contracted out to Patel?
You can answer that now, or I can send it to you in an email. If you know the answer. Okay, if you don't know the answer.
Yeah, I can answer.
Okay.
Yes, our director of environmental services and one of his direct reports have reviewed and signed all those permits.
Okay. Perfect. Robin?
And then to kind of piggyback off of something he said that I wrote down, are they going to be testing any of just the runoff water from the site, not just from the wells, but I mean,
Yes.
like
Yes.
the ditches?
Yes. Yep.
He's got a plan for that.
Dave's gonna get a plan together for that. Yep, absolutely. Anybody else in the room?
I'm just talking about Milwaukee Road County Line corner. It's a boring topic.
Perfect. We like boring.
However, it's not in my life. It's right up there where this well.
Absolutely.
So I guess my question is, you addressed the Monroe County Road Commission and you're talking at roads. A few years ago, I don't know if it's 5 or not, you know, if you think something's 5 years, it's probably 2 or something. They tore up our County Line Road with the idea of fixing it. Are we in the 5-year plan? We passed it, we blew it, we forgot it, we're not doing it. What's up? Do you
We're not
know?
doing it,
We're not doing what?
not repaving it.
Because isn't it like $1 million a mile?
It's $1 million a mile, and whoever made that deal is long gone from Monroe County Road Commission. I can't find any paperwork on it. All I found out is the paperwork where we paid to have that road ground up. That cost
Yeah,
us 50, 60 grand to have it, our portion was. And the premise was supposed to be repaved.
Yeah.
Well, when Milwaukee Road got ground up and they brought all the iron up and everybody's tires,
Yeah.
that money got sent over to Milwaukee Road. And then that's last. I've talked to 2 managing directors and they're like, not happening in anytime soon.
Okay.
But then again, the only good thing is, I can't leave off that, is Dundee Township had got their section done. But the good thing is they put all new culverts all the way down that road, then they repaved it. So maybe after this bridge gets put in, maybe there'll be something there. I don't know.
Well, they do maintain the road itself
Yes.
from county line, sorry, I'm sorry, from Milwaukee to Day Road. That part of it. I don't go on the north end much. I just know that's not good either, but I don't. My concern is the corner. That's the worst part. But the dusting, you know, that's the other thing. It's maintained well. It's not chucky, washboardy or all of that. So they're doing okay there, but the corner is just insane.
It's horrible. We've had discussion about, we're trying to come up with some kind of plan to fix it.
All right, now, and maybe you don't know this question. I'll just throw it out. I ask it, and I know you're probably not supposed to be giving me any information. I asked the road commission when they did Milwaukee Road, I asked them why they couldn't connect Milwaukee in Monroe and Lenawee County so that wouldn't be there. And also in the wintertime, it would be better to clear for snow and the whole thing.
That's good count. It's a good thing to bring up because we've been discussing it back and forth, but we haven't got anywhere with it yet.
And they said, well, it would tear it up when we snow plowed it. Well, it's tearing it, something's tearing it up and when you ain't snow plowing. So I don't know. Anyway, my
Good
little
question.
brain says if you could make a T thing there with asphalt, a few feet, oh, I don't know, but anyway, please find out something.
Good idea.
Yes.
No guarantees, but I'll make a couple.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Anybody online?
We have one question. So they said underground water veins can stretch for miles. How large of a radius will be covered in the event of wells being diminished, and will the well damages be covered by them?
Want to take that into consideration and answer that later?
I think we can do that. I also think some of the conditions that were mentioned will probably address most of that. So we'll talk to Dave and returns.
Perfect. Anybody else online have any questions?
Just a couple of quickies. I'm confused. Are they going to continue drilling during this week when you guys are going to have this special meeting, or is it still stop drilling?
They will be paused until all conditions have been met and they get a full approval.
Okay, thank you. And then this whole thing from the beginning, I thought this test well was part of this CO2 well, and now it's sounding like it's not part of it. So is this leading to the CO2 thing, or is this just an independent test well?
This is an independent test well. That's what the a lot of miscommunication at the beginning when they first started. CO2 and the test well were sort of intermingled, and so people were getting it confused. But this is just a test well. It will never be used for CO2, and there is no current plans that anybody has stated that CO2 will be entering Milan Township anytime soon.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Oh, it just says yes. If Mark remembers, he'll ask anybody on Zoom if they say anything.
Every time, pick on the old guy. Anybody else in the audience?
If this well is not going to be used for that CO2 stuff, why are they drilling the well? What's the purpose of
Test the
drilling the
geological
well?
underneath all the surface to see what's really down there.
They got a grant. They actually got a grant, am I correct? Was that both?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
They said they got a grant from the Joe Biden administration to do this test well, to get the geology and whatever your reservoirs or whatever you're talking about, information.
To know.
My well could go dry because they decided to drill a well for nothing.
Yep.
Hence the reason why we're having this meeting and getting site plans approved. Okay. Okay.
All right. Got one more.
Okay, I'm just wondering, how did you pick Milan Township? Out of all the townships in Monroe County, why did you come here?
You can answer that now, or I can send it to you in an email and you can answer it if you don't.
Email, yeah, okay.
I got a follow-up question. When they're drilling, are you sending a weekly report to Eagle so that we can see it on what you're drilling and what you're finding?
You can answer it now, or I can send in an email. Email, okay.
Quick one, Lori.
Yeah, if they do find certain minerals or
Gold.
things of that nature, do they plan on mining it in the future, or is that just, you just need to see what's here? Because the cement plant and all that, or we don't know, or that's something that'll just come upon us.
Can't say that, no, we're not mining anything.
Yeah. No, they're gonna seal it once they're done. That's the whole order.
Yeah.
One more.
Are they gonna supply you with core samples for the township, just to have? Why not?
We think, Dave, think we should?
Well, as a report would be ideal, so we can see what you found out down there.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have some core samples.
Good.
Yeah, I'm particularly.
Hold on, guys.
We would be particularly interested in the core samples for several reasons. Number one, the Bass Island Formation is one of the bigger problems here in the county because of the cars. And that'd be an ideal thing for the town, this township to know. And I'm sure that's what you'll be going down through. And that'd be an ideal for, so the bottom line is, yes, we'd like to see what kind of reports, what you find down there.
Yes, the intent is always to share it, and as we said throughout this, even at the town hall, the intent is to share the results, but we will not be coring the Bass Island.
You're gonna miss it?
No, we're not gonna miss it, the plan is not to core it.
So it's not there at all already, you already know that?
No, it's not about it not being there, that's not one of the reservoirs that we intend on pouring.
So it's not in that
Taking-
area.
we're not taking samples from.
Oh, you're not taking samples, you're gonna actually just go through without taking samples. Oh, I see. They're not taking core sample on the way down, they're just taking, do I understand then you're gonna only take samples when you get to the 4,000, 4,500 feet? Is that all you're doing then?
Right now, the plan is to begin approximately around 2,800. So the intent, the plan, and we'll provide this with one of the conditions. But right now, it's the Trempealeau and the Mount Simon is what we're looking at.
Okay, so you're gonna be actually evaluating that, so you're gonna blast through everything else.
Not blast through, drill.
I know blast, I mean
Yeah.
drill down. What you mean.
Yeah, don't say blast, Dave.
No,
We
no, no.
just got everybody all not excited. Yeah.
But you're still going to segment it down to what is going on all the way as you're going down, correct? In other words, you're gonna map out what you're going through and going down without necessarily coring it, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, so that would be nice
What
to.
happens if they hit gas or oil? Are they gonna cap it and go away, or do we get celebrity off it? You never know. Nobody knows.
Go ahead.
That's part of what we covered with the flare stack, right?
Okay.
That's part of that safety. If we
Got
can
it.
encounter it, that's when, if it's at that extent, you would flare it on.
Okay. Okay.
We all
One
done?
more question.
Oh, sorry, Cheryl.
So can you reveal, how much money did you get in this grant? This is a lot of work.
I'm not liberty to say that, but it is public.
Okay. Okay.
It is public information. It's not.
It is.
The grant.
All
Okay.
right, are we,
I think everybody's good. Anybody else on Zoom? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. You make a motion?
I make a motion to call the meeting at 9:23 PM.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks.
Yeah, man.